The embattled Alabama Bureau of Pardons and Paroles has a new chairman. No question, it's a tough job balancing public safety, fairness to victims, and the inmates who have worked to get a second chance. So let's get you involved in the conversation. We want to know, should inmates who meet the requirements be paroled? You can scan the QR code on your screen to answer. Tonight, the I-Team's Cynthia Gould sits down with Hal Nash to hear his vision.
First, here's a look at the parole grant rates, over 50% in 2018, before plummeting to 8% in 2023, then back up to double digits, 20% in 2024, and 22% so far this year. Hal Nash has spent his career in law enforcement, from the Chattanooga Police Department to Jackson County, Alabama, where he worked to clean up a troubled corrections department.
That's why I was brought on to Jackson County as a problem fixer for the jail, and I've done that in other things, and I enjoy that kind of work, especially with the group that I have here to work with.
Fixing the parole system where parole rates have plummeted and public trust has eroded won't be easy.
Most importantly, we have to keep the people of Alabama's trust in the following the guidelines to create public safety when we do pardon or parole individuals. It's a great responsibility.
Nash says the camaraderie with the other two board members, both also with law enforcement backgrounds, has made things smoother.
We may disagree, but we want to have the same and speaking with one voice.
Parole hearings are open. Families, victims, advocates, all heard.
That the board is keenly interested in what you have to say.
Nash says the focus, community safety, fairness to victims, and the inmates who deserve a second chance.
He's demonstrated mastery of those life skills by living successfully in work release for nearly a decade.
Show us that you want to help yourself, and you'll find some helpmates sitting on this board up here.
That means taking classes, earning a GED, and maintaining a clean discipline record.
The only way that this board can guarantee that no one will reoffend is not to parole anyone. We do the best that we can with the information that we have.
And he says there must be a transition.
You have these folks ready to assimilate back into society instead of just pushing them out the door and hoping for the best. Hoping for the best is not our board's policy.
He cites the Prep Center, which opened in 2022.
We've had almost 400 graduates. Of those almost 400 graduates, not one has 0% back to prison.
Nash says parole opportunities give inmates a reason to follow the rules, critical in Alabama's violent prison system.
Be ready for this time to come home and be a productive citizen.
It lets us hold them and assign them to programs or to halfway houses before we lose total control. In other words, it helps them to get back into society.
Nash says decisions are always case by case, and soon board members will once again see and hear from inmates, something that hasn't happened in years.
Our first conversation is, when can I look at the inmate? Because coming from a law enforcement background and interviewing offenders, it's important to me to see them. We all have second chances, most of us daily, not as great as getting out of prison into society, but we all have second chances, and it's what you do with those second chances.
For the I-Team, I'm Cynthia Gould.
And let's look back at our poll question. We asked, should inmates who meet the requirements be paroled? Taking a look at the results, first at 48% saying it depends on the crime, next 32% saying yes if they've changed, 11% saying no, it's too risky, 9% saying they don't trust the system. Now, there's still time to answer. Just scan the QR code on your screen or find the story at abc3340.com.